Ehang team members are going to be coming in any second. Little surprise for you, doing this a little bit later in the day so that we have fresh news for you in tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's going to be a great show. We have one of the top developers of VR games on the pod. You might have remembered I talked about how people buy Oculuses but don't stick with it. Well, on tomorrow's show, I'm going to talk with, or I have talked with, and it'll be published tomorrow, the founder of one of the golf games that's doing really well on VR. And we have a really candid talk about AR and VR. Welcome to all my Notification Gang members. You're coming in far too fast for me to keep track of here. Let's see if I can. Oh, my Lord, so many of you now. Patrick, number one, Amar, Barber, Chase, and Will taking out the first 5 slots. Well done. And then we have Sean, Serge, Alex, Christopher, and Alec Xander taking up the next 5. STG80 back in the game at 11. Robert Del Toro, Fuddy, Spencer, Jeremy, Nicholas, Robert, Sparkchild, Dusty, Zen Prophet, as always, Mackenzie, as always, Menez, as always. So many great noties here. Can I talk about Lemonade acquiring Metromile? I don't know anything about Metromile. Everybody wants to ask me about Metromile constantly because I guess Friedberg was the co-founder. So I don't know anything about it. I've never used it. I don't exactly. I mean, I know they do insurance by the mile, but I guess it's had a mercurial SPAC performance. I guess would be a way to describe it, up and down. I don't know. I haven't watched it. Okay, noties. So I'm going to tape 2 quick segments here. And did anybody see the news about the new co-host? I wonder if anybody's seen the news about the new co-host. Anybody see that news about the new co-host? Maybe we'll drop in a tweet here if my production team and my editors can find it fast enough. But I've created a bit of a problem for myself with This Week in Startups and All In. All In's weekly. This Week in Startups was twice a week for the last, 5-6 years. And then it became 3 days a week. And then they said, hey, JCal, we're sold out again. Your friend can't buy ads, whatever. I was like, I'll add a 4th day a week. I'll do an extra episode. And then we get 5 days a week. And I actually kind of enjoy it. I like the rhythm of doing it. I learn a lot. Basically swap out the pod for reading the news, read the news with you. Kind of equals the same thing for me and my job every day. Meet with founders, interview founders. Kind of the same thing, right? Get to know people, check in with people. So sometimes you'll see me have a founder I've already invested in or a VC friend come on. And it's like, okay, it's just an excuse to catch up with, Keith Raboy or catch up with Ruloff or catch up with whoever we have on the show. So
you want to pull the tweet up?
We'll pull the tweet up here. I was like, I really need to get a co-founder. I'm sorry, a co-host here on the show, because what if I take a vacation? And wouldn't that be interesting to have somebody else here to riff on the news with me? You always say I do a better job when I have somebody to riff on the news. So here's the news. Molly Wood, who's a long-term friend of mine and friend of the show. She's been on many times. You know her from doing marketplace tech and Make Me Smarter, and her new show on How We Survive. So she's on marketplace, obviously, with NPR or American Public Radio, whatever it is. And so she will be joining us in January as co-host of the show. She's obviously going to bring a lot to the table. She is absolutely fantastic. She's got over 100,000 followers. She's just perfect, as folks are saying here. So I'm very excited about that. How will we integrate her into the show? Well, she's coming to join us full-time at the investment company and doing the podcast. So mornings or whatever, half of her time she'll be doing the podcast, half doing investing. She's got a passion for climate change and climate and energy startups. So we'll make that a big part of her focus as an investor. And so she'll talk on the show about what she's learning about investing startups. So just like I do, she'll basically follow that path of being a podcaster plus investor, which is a pretty good path, I think. And a lot of you already know Molly and think she's great. So that'll be great. I can take a vacation and not worry about it. Or, there might be somebody who, doesn't want me to interview them, but would be really comfortable with Molly interviewing them, vice versa. You have 2 hosts. You have 2 different ways to win with recruiting people. And I can call in sick. Yeah, I haven't been able to call in sick. I mean, people are pretty amazed at my ability to do the show.
Jason, you don't call in sick. We know what you call in as.
What do I call in as? Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm calling in rich.
Can you confirm that you've got the bit rate and going up on your QuickTime, please?
Yeah. Let me take a look at my QuickTime. Yeah, I'm at 8 minutes and 19.5 megabits. Yes, there's a joke in the business. When you are rich and you don't want to work, you just call in rich one day and you don't go to work. Pretty obnoxious, but pretty true. Actually, happening with all these crypto folks. A lot of crypto folks had day jobs and then they made $1 million or $250,000 on some NFT or some Solana.
I think there's like
whatever.
5% of the economy calling in rich.
I think there's, it's probably accurate. Well, I mean, it's not only calling in rich, it's also calling in like, I'm above this. Like, why do I need this in my life? So, if people have stimmy checks or they've done great, gambling on crypto or investing in startups or gambling on startups or investing in crypto, whatever, however you want to frame it. Why would you take a job that is arduous, painful, or you're not interested in it? You might as well take some time off. And it's not like there's any stigma now, I think, around taking time off. There used to be a stigma, and it was kind of waning, that like if you didn't have a job, you were a loser or something was wrong with you. Now I think like, you ask people, especially young folks, like, what are you doing? And they're like, yeah, I'm working on some projects.
Working on something new.
I'm working on something new.
The almighty phrase. I'm working on something new.
I'm in the lab.
Stealth startup.
And I'm in the lab.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I'm in the lab. That's
sure.
Yeah.
You're in the lab? The meth lab?
I'm in the lab,
What
dude.
lab were you in?
Yeah.
Breaking Bad lab. It's entrepreneurship at its finest. So anyway, I'm super excited about Molly coming on board. So you can go follow Molly Wood. And make sure you are real time with Molly. The delay on Make Me Smart with Kai leads to annoying repetitions. Oh, I didn't know that. We'll be live. We'll be doing Restream, and it'll be kind of cool because we can hook up her Twitter account if she's amenable to this. And then when we do a live show, we can go to both of our Twitter streams. So it's going to be interesting. And people are very happy for her. I'm very happy for her. Okay, let's get some news here. Please, no more pronoun jokes. I don't want to take any. Although it was pretty crazy. The All In podcast was the 61st podcast in the world, according to Apple. I was like, how's that possible? What salad today? Today I had yogurt. Thanks for noticing. I looked at I'm down 20 pounds from my pandemic peak this year, which was like 198 and 178. So yeah, getting a little thinner. You can see it in the face a little bit. I worked out with weights. It felt unbelievable. Wow. And I did an hour. I don't like to talk too much about my friend with the rocket ship company, because if I say something, then all these aggregators will aggregate it, and then I get all these alerts, and then people twist whatever I say, or they assume that I have some information that I don't. How can you deal with it? I ate a nice thing of yogurt today. It's pretty good. I am ready to go. Here we go. So first up, we're going to talk about Roblox, and then I'm going to talk about some VTOL stuff. Here we go. I haven't seen Bezos in years.
You see the video of Leonardo DiCaprio talking to Bezos?
Oh, God, that was hilarious. I mean, Jeff Bezos' girlfriend is a trip because, I don't even want to get into that whole story, but having known people in LA, they were like, she's still married and you're going to like the #1 restaurant with Bezos, and Bezos is doing business with your husband. The whole thing was so sordid and weird. And people were just like, what's that about? It's pretty weird. But yeah, that was a pretty great video.
I saw a tweet that was like, I was basically like, I see Leo's hand motion. I immediately know he's a shyster. He's stealing that girl.
I mean,
you see what Leo was doing with his hands? He was like waving them, and like, so it was so funny. Someone was like, I expect him to twist his mustache next.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat, Leo. All right, here we go. Although I think that she might not be his type because she's over 25 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah, there's a tough infographic out there for
I've seen the
Leo. It shows
infographic
that,
of
yeah.
Leo. Ooh.
And it's like the max is 25. You're like, oh Jesus.
Wow, yeah, it's a little rough. Strange. Here we go. 3, 2. Okay, Roblox reported a huge quarter in Q3, doubling revenue year over year to $509 million. Full disclosure, my wife bought, I don't know how much, but she bought a bunch of Roblox because she believed in it. And I think she got in at the IPO, which was like 45 or $50. So I guess I have a bias here towards this stock. Not really, but I'm happy for her that she made that bet. She's got, she made the Bitcoin bet too at $100. So I give my wife a lot of credit. Their shares jumped 30% in after hours trading. It's now at $100 a share. That's a $13 billion increase in their market cap. It's crazy days right now, folks. $57 billion market cap. Big takeaways. Roblox users are insanely engaged. Some back of the envelope math here because it's kind of hard to understand, but based on our analysis, the number of hours people are engaged in this platform is bonkers. They had 11.2 billion hours, up 28% year over year. Now, 11.2 billion hours in a 90-day quarter, right? And you divide that by 47 million daily active users, you get an average of 236 hours per user in Q3. Again, 90 days. If people use the service for 60 days, that would be 4 hours a day. If they did it every single day, it would be 2.6 hours a day. That's a lot of time on a platform. I am stunned by that, but in some ways not. I mean, if you look at people who are addicted to Twitter, they're on there for more than an hour or two a day. So I'm not sure if, this back of the envelope math works out, but, in terms of there's developers on the platform and people building stuff. If you don't know, Roblox is a video game platform where developers can create games inside of the app. They went public via a direct listing on March 10th. They sell an in-game currency called Robux, which allows people to buy games and outfits, all that kind of stuff that people are talking about now with NFTs being so special that you could actually take your character's abilities or outfits and move them from one game to another. That isn't happening yet, but that is the promise of this new metaverse. If you think about the metaverse not as a VR or AR headset, just as a 3D world that would be represented on a 2D monitor. They also have something called Roblox Premium, which is a monthly subscription. And creators and developers on Roblox can earn money, and they earned $103 million in Q3. That was up 50% year over year.
130 million.
They creators and developers on Roblox earned 130 million in Q3, which was up 52% year over year. Roblox takes 30%, just like Apple, and so this is pretty staggering in terms of the earnings for these games and these platforms. Revenue of 509 million. That's a lot of money when you think about it. And these have to be incredibly high margin businesses. Total bookings, which includes some deferred revenue, was 637 million. What that means when you hear deferred revenue, somebody might buy the year in advance, so they might have more cash come in a quarter, and then they will do something called accrual-based accounting, where you spread those payments out and you get to get credit for them each month or quarter, depending on how you've set it up. They lost 74 million. That's up 55% year over year. I'm not sure what the total cost is here for this business. They have 1,400 employees, and that's up 66% year over year. Revenue per employee for Q3 was about 355K. So I guess they have a lot of employees to run this business. You got to think they could run this business with half as many employees, and it would be printing money. But they're obviously in investment mode. 80% of their employees are either engineering or product focused, according to Roblox. If you look at their DAUs, 47 million, that's up 31% year over year, just a hair above 47 million. Their average booking per daily active users is $13.49. That's down year over year. In other words, if you have 500 million in revenue in the quarter, and you have almost 50 million folks, just over $10 per user per quarter, which means per year, we're talking about, close to $50 a year. Pretty amazing when you think about it. That is some serious revenue, and that's year after year. These folks are going to stick around. So, I am much more bullish on Roblox. When we compared it, I thought it was more of a hit-based business, but this developer ecosystem is obviously starting to thrive. And when you see revenue double like that, clearly I underestimated the impact of those network effects. I'm not sure exactly how many people are on the largest video game in the world. I wonder if anybody in the chat room who's watching live knows. I know Fortnite has over 100 million people using it every month. So there does seem to be this ability to hit 100 million people using a platform a quarter. So this could definitely double. I don't know where the natural audience limit is, or if they would have to, get more people into video games for this to go beyond that. There seems to be a natural audience for these. So great job to the Roblox team. Do you guys know who has the largest number of users in one video game?
I just grabbed it. A Tencent company is number one. It's a Chinese company, I think.
Outside of China.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has 1 billion players. Although, PUBG.
Yeah, no, that's known as PUBG. Yeah,
PUBG,
that's not just a Chinese game. That's played globally.
It is. It's owned by Tencent, though. That's interesting.
Yeah, Tencent owns a lot of games, including American ones.
Minecraft.
Was that game played everywhere?
Yeah, my friends play that game. It's actually the thing that Fortnite ripped off.
Yeah, it was like the OG Fortnite.
Yeah. So the largest number of players, League of Legends, 111 millions per peak monthly. I'm just looking at some of the most played video games by player count is what we're looking for here. Yep, there it is. I got it. Okay, here we go. 3, 2. All right, and looking at the Wikipedia, there is a page. You can look it up yourself. List of most played video games by player count. PlayerUnknown's Battleground and Crossfire, 2 free-to-play games, both owned by Tencent, have over 1 billion users. Dragon Fighter Online, that hit 700 million as of May of 2020.
Dungeon
Minecraft,
Fighter?
600 million. What's that?
Dungeon Fighter, you said Dragon.
Oh, Dungeon Fighter, 700 million users as of May 2020. And just looking down this list, Minecraft, 600 million users as of November 2020. That's pretty amazing. Pac-Man Doodle. I've never heard of this, but Pac-Man Doodle from Google, I guess, 500 million peak daily players in May of 2020. Candy Crush Saga hit 500 million players. So clearly, you can get to hundreds of millions if Roblox, which is at 200, Roblox had 202 million peak monthly players in April of 2021. So why does that say that for Roblox on that page? And
that was monthly active. They reported daily active in their earnings.
Got it. Okay. So if we look at Roblox here, they had 202 million peak monthly players, according to Wikipedia, on April 2021. The number we gave you before, 47 million, is their daily active users. Obviously, you get a much bigger number by the people who don't play every day. And I wonder if that means they could double that, triple it. I mean, it's possible, I guess. The upper limit here seems to be 1 billion. So if we gave them credit for hitting in between those two numbers, 200 and 1 billion, that would be plus 400 million. Maybe they can get to 600 million monthly, which means they could triple their revenue. So it does seem like they're on the trajectory to do something similar to that and get to Minecraft's number, which is 600 million. That to me would seem to be a pretty amazing run. And that means the stock would be triple, or the revenue would triple. And that seems plausible to me. Congratulations to the Roblox team.
There's one other thing. I didn't write it, but just thinking about it, I was actually talking to one of my little cousins over the weekend about this. And kids that play or anyone that plays Roblox, you can't trade or sell your goods that you collect in the platform. So imagine they enabled that, and then they took a 2% fee on everything.
Sure.
Like, that's a whole nother.
Well, that would really hurt them because they get 100% of new stuff, right? Because it's digital. Yeah. But it might make it more sticky because the things would be pretty great.
True.
So 3, 2. And another thing to consider in all of this is there could be other business model innovations that occur that generate more revenue. Obviously, they're selling in-game items, they'll also have a premium subscription. And if they embraced NFTs or a marketplace where people could trade their goods, that could give them a little bit of lift. And I wonder if Roblox users, when they grow up, if there's going to be other games that they would want to play. I know a lot of Roblox players came from the Minecraft ecosystem, and then once you move from one to the other, I'm not sure if you go backwards. That'd be an interesting question if somebody could find the data on that. But congratulations to the Roblox team. Okay. Anybody in the Noti gang have any observations they want to make about Roblox? Or you have anybody in your family? I've received, we got 100 messages so far. Fantastic. Okay, everybody smash the thumbs up if you haven't already. All these numbers are at least 30% inflated by people with multiple accounts. Very interesting. I wonder what the evidence of that is. Why would people have multiple accounts? I wonder. Oh, maybe they want to try different. Well, but they're going after daily active users. So it could be somebody played under 2 accounts in the same day. Could be, yeah. When is Nas going to come on the All In pod? Yeah, he could come on the Swing Startups All In. I had lunch with Nas once when he was starting his venture firm. Cool cat. All right, here we go. Next up is our new segment, We Live in the Future, or an old segment we're bringing back. 3, 2. All right, everybody. This is a 3, 2. Okay, everybody. This is a
You
segment.
just sounded like Larry David.
Yeah, so watching Larry David, and it's pretty good segment. 3, 2. Okay. We're bringing back an old segment called We Live in the Future, WLITF. Not WTF, WLITF. We Live in the Future. And so every week or two, we're going to talk about things that will hopefully blow your mind, or things we've been talking about in science fiction that are becoming reality. And the one that's had me absolutely captivated for some time now is VTOL aircraft, vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. And we just have an incredible video here to watch. This is from a company called Jetson One, and they make an electronic VTOL. And here we have the Jetson One flying around. They released this video recently. And the pilot is the co-founder and CTO, Tomasz Patan. He stated the mission on their website: we intend to make everyone a pilot. And here are some specs for their VTOL. It's 190 pounds. That is light. And it can support a pilot weight of up to 210 pounds. So I am safely under that since I lost 20 pounds this year. It includes 8 motors, and the company claims it can fly safely with the loss of 1 motor. And so that is one of the amazing things about VTOLs. When you think about a drone, if you're not watching this incredible science fiction that looks like something out of Blade Runner and the spinners in Blade Runner, or maybe a Star Wars film with speeder bikes. What's amazing about VTOLs when compared to a helicopter, if you think about just the drones that your family might have flown on some holiday when somebody buys one, uses it, and then puts it away and never uses it again, those things have, maybe 8 rotors. And if one of them goes down, the software knows that one's down, it stops spinning, and it just recalibrates the other ones to automatically save the drone and help it land properly, etc. So that's going to be one of the great things about VTOLs. They are going to be much safer, I believe, than helicopters. Helicopters have, a lot of downside. They're very complicated to fly. They obviously don't have 8 motors, rotors. I think most of them have redundant and have 2. The max speed of this VTOL is 63 miles an hour. Current flight time, 20 minutes. So that's a very short flight time. These are going to be toys for a while. Think of them like wave runners or, those kind of devices in terms of utilization. They're not going to be for commutes right now. This thing's 10 by 7 in terms of feet, and it uses high discharge lithium-ion batteries. Includes a 3-axis joystick and LiDAR sensors that will monitor the terrain and obstacles. Total price $92K. You can put down a deposit for $22K. I'm tempted to do that, although I wouldn't want to be part of the first group of people to own these. It'll arrive 50% assembled, and it's up to the owner to assemble the other 50%. I wonder if that's because this is going to be some sort of a kit, or that's their business model. There'll be other versions of this. Obviously, we saw Joby go public. Regulations are going to have to be worked out for this to operate in the United States on something other than private land. Clearly, they're on a private course here. Are you going to need a pilot's license? Probably not. These things will probably be automated when they get out to the mass consumers. For this one, yeah, they're going to have to come up with some sort of, since you are controlling it, pilot's license for it. And I wonder if it'll have to be a certain speed. You know, when you drive an e-bike, I think the max speed of an e-bike is 30 miles per hour or 25. For a motorcycle license, I think you can have up to 34cc. Don't quote me on that. And like 35, 40 miles an hour. And then above that, you have to get a motorcycle license. So a May 2020 article in Aviation Airport Development Law.com claimed the regulation of VTOLs by the FAA is severely lagging. And so this will come up, but if an individual builds at least 51% of an aircraft, they can register a plane in the FAA's experimental or amateur built category. And so that sounds to me like what's going on here is that the Jetson One might fall into that experimental or amateur built category. That to me is something that has never, ever been of interest. Like being a test pilot, I mean, that's how John Denver tragically died. I think he was operating like an experimental plane. My Lord, that is a high level of danger, is to do experimental planes or ones that you built yourself. Absolutely no interest in that, but I have a lot of interest in these VTOLs because I think they could be safer ultimately than driving in a city or driving on the highway. Driving on the highway, there's a lot of things to crash into. Driving in the air, there's not going to be a lot of things to crash into, and these can easily land themselves. If there's a problem, they can land on water very easily. They're not going to be 10, 20,000 feet in the air. They're going to be 1,000 feet. They're going to be flying over water. If there's a problem, they probably would be able to withstand it. And certainly if there's a malfunction, they do have the ability to land gracefully, as you've probably seen with various tests of these things, certainly more gracefully than a helicopter or a plane spinning out of control. Now, the battery technology is going to have to take a lot more time, but we saw that with Teslas. You know, the Roadster had, I think, 190-mile rating. Realistically, you got over 100, maybe 120. So we'll see these, I think, arrive faster than we thought. In fact, I think in some cities, we'll see these as a commuting option before we're going to see self-driving without a steering wheel. So let me say that again. It's completely possible that in a city like San Francisco, the Bay Area, or Sydney, or Melbourne, or Rhode Island, anywhere that's on a bay. New York City comes to mind as well with the Hudson and the East River. These are going to be great for flying over the water. Why? You're not going to have to worry about buildings or landing on people. Whereas, if this was flying over a city like Los Angeles, kind of not the ideal place. Like Los Angeles would be the worst place for this. You got these things flying everywhere. They start falling out of the sky. They land on people. God forbid somebody dies. You got people in the plane dying and people on the ground dying, or people in the VTOL dying. So California is going to be the worst place for it. But a bay area with islands, perfect for these. In fact, you could see these in New York City doing absolutely phenomenal. Just going to JFK, you just go right along the Hudson, going out to Coney Island, flying into Manhattan. These things could wind up being everywhere. In fact, I think that one possibility we'll see is some of these tall buildings in Manhattan and other cities will have, a couple of floors where they'll fly into. And so these will be able to very easily navigate, some 30-foot landing platform in a high rise. And then if you live in the high rise, you could go down to the whatever, up or down to the 80th floor, let's say, get in one of these. It hovers, it flies out over the city, takes you to the airport. You come home from the airport, boom. It's going to be a brave new world, folks. And these are the real deal. In 2023, they're going to deliver 21 units, they claim. And that's pretty amazing. The 2023 deposit locations included Hawaii, San Francisco, Alabama, Florida, Finland, the Netherlands, Germany, and more. Joby Aviation, JOBY, went public via SPAC, and they've been trading under that ticker symbol JOBY, currently valued at almost $6 billion, $5.7 billion. And they expect their commercial operations to start in 2024. Reid Hoffman helped take Joby public through his SPAC. I think that's what Mark Pincus, Reinvent Technology Partners. And Reid spoke with me on about Joby on Angel episode 6 from season 5, if you want to check that out. Now, there's a Chinese company called Ehang, Ehang, and they're building autonomous aerial vehicles, basically VTOLs that fly themselves. The videos are amazing. I've been watching these videos, and I'll throw one up on the screen here if you don't watch on YouTube, youtube.com/thisweekin. They went public in December of 2019. They want to do automated flying taxis. But they were accused of fraud by Wolfpack Research in February of 2021. Wolfpack Research is an activist short seller, and they kept up the Wolfpack is just. I just love how these activist short sellers name their companies. We have Wolfpack Research. You probably remember Hindenburg Research. I believe they did Nikola, and then there was Scorpion Capital recently. So Wolfpack, Scorpion, Hindenburg are on line one. You're in trouble. Let me just say that. Hello, sir. We have Wolfpack Research on line 1, Scorpion Capital on line 2, and Hindenburg Research is in the lobby. You're done. They concluded, Wolfpack that is, that Ehang's largest customer is fake and also a pre-IPO investor looking to push up their share price. Again, in China, the rules are, let's just say, very fluid. They reference filings and reports which showed that the sham company was established only 9 days before it signed a $65 million contract with Ehang. Again, I have no idea of knowing if this accusation by Wolfpack is true. I'm just relaying it here. After the report was released, Ehang stock dropped from $124 a share to $21 a share. And they're at about 25 now a share, which is a $1.4 billion market cap. So I am pretty excited about all of these. And I think that this is the real deal, putting Ehang aside. The Ehang some of these Ehang videos, though, I when I first saw them, I thought they looked fake. Like I thought they were CGI, and I still look at them and go, "Is this real or not?" And it makes you wonder if they're like actually use computer technology to, in some way, fake these flights. But I don't think so. The videos do look real from Ehang. So that would be something I would want to know. Like if the business was absolutely corrupt and they were doing this self-dealing and making companies up, I wonder if the technology is real and the company is fake and the business contracts are fake, but the tech's real, because clearly other people are making this work and it is going to be awesome. So just a little We Live in the Future segment for you. If you have an idea for a We Live in the Future segment, just email producers@thisweekinstartups.com. It's a long domain name, but it's worth it. You get all 3 producers on the line. Okay, let's go on to our interview.
Great. I have the intro for you up top.
Okie dokie. Let's do a little intro and then... okay, 3, 2. Okay, everybody, we got some cool news for you. Roblox's earnings are out, and we're going to do a new segment today, We Live in the Future. And we're going to let you know about a cool new startup that is doing basically speeder bikes or spinners from Blade Runner. Very cool new technology in the VTOL space. Got some exciting video there, too, if you watch the YouTube channel. After that, Ryan Engel is with us. He is the CEO and founder of Golf Plus. You might remember a few weeks ago, I tweeted about Oculus and the try, oh my, goodbye. People just absolutely trying it, absolutely loving it, and then never using it again because it's too bulky and maybe it's just too intense for casual gamers, but hardcore gamers still prefer PCs. Well, in that thread, Ryan had a really considered response, so we decided to have him on the show. And Golf Plus makes an amazing VR game for Oculus called Pro Putt by Top Golf. So go check that out. And we talk about all the issues in AR versus VR, how much how much time people are actually going to want to spend in VR with these heavy, clunky headsets, when we're going to get the AR headsets that are just like putting on a pair of sunglasses, and what companies are developing the best headsets, maybe when Apple's headset will come out. It's a really deep dive into the VR versus AR debate and the entire metaverse space. And he is really credible because he's working in it every day. Really appreciated having him on the episode. So let's get to it.
Great. I need one ad read from you. We could do it online.
Oh, I'll do the ad read for the noties. Noties want to hear an ad read? Noties want to hear an ad read? You can rate my ad read. I will let you.
If you go to ad copy, it's the top one. It's OurCrowd, and the company is
I love OurCrowd.
Intellect, like intellect, but act. Intellect.
It is always a challenge with me.
But act.
It's a little tough with these names of these companies. I will. Intellect.
Like intellect, but act.
Intellect. Did I get it right?
Intellect. Like
Intellect. Intellect.
Yeah. Intellect. There you go.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Intellect. 3, 2. It's time for another OurCrowd deal of the week. I know I'm going to mispronounce it, so
I know you
I'm
are
laughing already. Intellect. Did I get it?
Yeah, I'm going to get 4 slacks from Matt tomorrow when we get into this.
Intellect. Oh, it's so hard to have dyslexia. This is like the perfect. If you have dyslexia,
yeah, it's almost like they're fucking with you.
It's almost like they're picking the companies with the hardest names. Intellect.
And for everyone calling that a 0, that was a false start. That doesn't count.
That was a false
Mulligan.
A mulligan. I just totally whiffed that one. Here we go. 3, 2. I don't know if I can do this on air without nobody's watching. Oh, it's so bad.
It's like intellect, but act instead of act. Intellect.
You're making it worse with that. That's just a terrible way to say. Let's do a phonetic spelling here. Intellect. Did I get it right? Intellect.
Technically, yes, but you sound like a little bit of a robot when you say it that way.
Intellect.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I got it. Okay, here we go. 3, 2. Okay, it's time for another OurCrowd deal of the week. Right now, you can. Oh, I just see every time I'm about to say it, I laugh. Oh, sorry, everybody. You guys are getting in my head now. I may have to turn off the stream. So brutal. Now that I've got the case of the giggles, it's not going to go away. This is why I need Molly Wood here. She could read this. And she could read that one sentence. I could read the next. It would be perfect. All right. You guys got to stop commenting because I'm reading the comments. I'm gonna turn off the comments here. You guys can keep commenting. I'm not going to look at the comments. Here we go.
If they just bully you, we'll just do it offline.
We're going to have.
You guys are going to bully.
I'm feeling
Jason
bullied.
Off air.
3, 2. Okay, it's time for OurCrowd. It's 3, 2. Okay, it's time for another OurCrowd deal of the week. Right now, you can join OurCrowd's investment in Intellect. And right now, you can join.
Oh man, that made me crease up laughing.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I can't do it. Is this
We're
for
doing
tomorrow?
Phonetics, Malik.
Is this for tomorrow's show?
Yes.
I'm so fucked. Oh god. I'm sorry. I gotta take a break.
I like George had a good suggestion. Intellect. Not
yes,
Intel though, like the company Intel.
Intellect. Right now,
That's
you
it.
can join OurCrowd's investment in Intellect. According to the deal memo, Intellect's transportation innovation could save the airline industry $3 billion a year. Intellect uses machine learning to improve safety, recognize hazards, and reduce delays. And they're already being used at some major international airports. And these airports serve over 100 million passengers annually, according to the deal memo. And these airports serve over 100 million passengers annually, according to the deal memo. We know that all over the world of tech, companies are innovating and driving returns for investors, while OurCrowd's team analyzes many of these companies across the entire global private market. Then you select the companies with the greatest growth potential and bring them. Then they select companies with the greatest growth potential and bring them to you. From personalized medicine to cybersecurity to robotics, one of my favorites, to quantum computing, and more. In state-of-the-art labs, startup garages, and anywhere in between, OurCrowd identifies innovators so that you can invest when growth potential is greatest, which is early. If you're an accredited investor, you can join OurCrowd for free at OurCrowd.com/twist and review the current deals. There is no payment involved until you decide to invest. That's OurCrowd.com/twist to sign up for free.
Sorry, we got to do that one more time.
From the whole thing.
No, I'm just fucking with you. That was good.
Oh, okay. Did I even come close?
No, you did a good job.
Okay. I mean, I can say the word over and over again.
Intellect. Yeah, you did it. You were good.
Intellect.
Intellect.
Intellect. OurCrowd's investment in Intellect.
Yeah, someone said.
I mean,
producers can edit to an 8.4. That's exactly true.
That's what we're trying to do here. I mean,
that's what we're trying to do.
God, these bloopers. Do we have a blooper reel? I mean, that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, we could probably grab one, but not. We don't optimize for bloopers on ad reads. But this one, we just have it.
Oh my God! It is a perfect lesson in branding. Like if you,
whoa. Okay. Don't disparage.
No, I mean I'm just saying it is important to be able to spell it over the phone and intellect. Yes. Aside from my dyslexia, which makes it hard. This is the perfect dyslexic word because there's intel, which you're going to say, and then you see intellect, and it's a play on words. Obviously, it's just very hard to get this to work.
Plays on words are tough.
Yeah, Amazon's got that story where Jeff Bezos had called his lawyer to set up his company. He was like, I want to call it Cadabra. And the guy's like, cadaver? And so that's why Amazon is not Cadabra.
Yes. Yeah. I tried to get the domain name WOW, WOW.com. It was owned by, AOL owned it. And then I tried to get more.com, which was owned by Hearst. And they had a magazine. It was two things I wanted to. Yeah, Meredith still owns it. They still own More. More was a grant. I wanted to do 90s. Like inside.com, but more, like get more information on something.
That's such a good domain name.
I thought like more.com/ iPhone cases, more.com/ Hawaii, whatever. Get more information on Hawaii.
Who owns
Best? I like Alan Jones showing up an hour later and being like, Noti, it's not how it works, dude. Okay. Here we go. Save the file. Thanks for coming, Noties. Appreciate it. So this was Roblox, and we live in the future. VTOLs. OurCrowd. November 8th. Okay. What you're hearing me do is upload the file. Stoned a bit. I am not stoned. No. I am not stoned. Trust me. I couldn't have done what I just did if I was stoned. No. Not my bag. Stay calm, everybody. What advice do you give most often to founders? Stay focused, please. For the love of God, stay focused.
I like this question.
Noti.
Nope, not that.
That's the question? Noti?
Nope. Hold on. My thing's moving all around. Oh, I can't find the question now.
Oh, somebody just said you should charge for ads by the complexity of the name. That's pretty funny. Okay. That's a good question. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take this question. Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to start my QuickTime again. You guys, I want to use this. Are you guys using all these questions that were?
Yeah, we are. I created a playlist on This Week in Startups clips, and they're just like Ask Jason extras. Oh, and cool. We upload all the ones that are good.
3, 2. Okay. What's the simplest website name you've owned? 20.com, 20.com, or inside.com, annotated.com, kokua.com, and mahalo.com, and aday.com, ADAY.com. I still own a lot of those. I sold 20.com for like over $1 million, and I bought it for 50, I think. A Chinese company, a domainer in China bought it because they were crazy about numbers. Like this happened like 7 or 8 years ago. Everybody in China wanted to own a number. 20 was a good number to own, so I sold it. I made a big profit on that one. So yeah, I would say aday.com was the other one. I was going to do like blank aday.com. So I think I paid $35,000 for that. And there's a clothing line called A Day, I guess, which is like, how's your day going or whatever. And they tried to do a deal with me and they like, we'll give you $5,000. I was like, I paid 35. Like, I'll take, I don't know, 5% of your company or give me $100K and pay me, $1,000 a month or something. I don't know, come up with something more compelling. They didn't want to come up with something more compelling. So I think they're like, wear a day or something. But I really like A Day. And so my idea was joke a day, recipe a day, whatever, a day, dunk a day. You could pick any of that stuff. That was my idea. It's a 4-letter domain. 4-letter domains are hard. But I do think, .coms are going to always be the most valuable. But with all these other domains, you can get a pretty good one for 5 or 10K or less at .io, or you can do getinside.com or goinside.com if you did an inside app. So there's a lot of other options for you. Good question. All right. One more question. Was there another one? Oh, you just use these. You don't even need the audio file for this because you're going to use them.
No, we could just use the video one. That's fine.
Okay. Any other questions that you want me to answer for the nudies?
I haven't seen any other good ones. The only thing I would say to punch up that last one is you could briefly go over like what a really, really great .com domain signals to an investor if you're a founder.
But also the techniques on how to acquire them. That was some good advice. What was the founder that managed to get a really good domain recently? And he talked about how he sweetened the deal and won it over another company. He won it over Facebook.
Yep.
That was Ryan Breslow from Bolt.
Thank you. Thank you.
3, 2. So when you have a great domain name, it does speak volumes to investors because it means you're capable of negotiating an incredible deal and getting something that there is massive scarcity for. So com.com famously, that was super impressive to me. When I had mahalo.com, that was impressive to people. Although the original name was 20.com of Mahalo. It was going to be 20 of the most important facts, videos, data points, links for any subject. That was my original concept for Mahalo, which was a human-powered search engine, which I still stand by that idea. I think it's going to work. Somebody's going to do it someday. Not me, though. I'm not going to build another 100-person company and go after something crazy like that against Google. That was hard. Now, buying these domain names, if you can find the person who owns it and they're a domainer, they're going to just want a lot of cash in a lot of cases. But you might be able to get them to take some cash and then have upside in the company, which is really a great pot sweetener. Also, if you can't afford it, you can ask them, hey, can we do a 3-year lease with an option to buy? Because if you look at me, I'm using aday.com. If the people from aday.com are like, we'll give you $30,000 a year for the next 5 years, and at any time we can buy the domain for $250K, I would have been like, okay, I probably would have done it. I might not do it today, but I would value that domain name at $250, $500K, which they didn't have at the time, but I would have given it to them on lease, Sure, why not? So I think that's a really smart move. And so you could do the lease thing with a payment at any time during that lease, which favors you. If you were able to raise more money, great. If you run out of money and you can't pay your bills, then you have to go to aday.org or, tryaday.com. And then the aday goes back to the original person. So those kind of domain leases, I think, are smart ideas if you have them done properly, rock solid, with the option to buy them, and then putting a little equity in. Hey, we'll give you, up to, if the company becomes worth $1 billion, we'll give you $5 million in shares or whatever. You can come up with some sort of formula. So try those techniques. Good luck. But don't let it stop you from building. If you're going to build your great idea, just build your great idea. You can, if you want your great idea to be called, com, and somebody owns com.com, you could just get staycom.com, trycom.com, gocom.com, the com app, go, you can do all kinds of com123. You can do all kinds of funny, weird things because people will search and find it. All right. Any other questions you want me to take, Nick?
No, that's good.